What's up, ladies and gentlemen of Marysville? Thanks for joining us here on Charger Chat. This morning, I'll be your host, Vitaly Boychenko, and alongside me,
Anthony Lingat.
it's going to be a great show today. Today, our guest is Amy Howell. She's the director of the Food for Thought Backpack Program. Amy, how are you doing this morning?
I am great, thank you, and thank you for
That's good to hear.
having me.
Let's kick things right off. Why don't you describe to us just what exactly is Food for Thought Backpack Program?
Food for Thought Backpack is a program that we started to help children that have food insecurity over the weekends.
Now, what exactly is food insecurity?
Food insecurity is a term that's used to describe somebody that doesn't have enough food to get them through the day, the month, the week, whatever it is.
Statistically speaking, how many kids in our area are having that issue?
In Marysville, we're looking at probably, I would say maybe 1,500 to 2,000 children.
Wow, that's too many.
Yes,
Definitely too many.
yes.
And this kind of problem can happen for a lot of different reasons, mostly financial insecurity, correct?
That's correct.
Now, how did this program come to be exactly?
Back in February of 2012, we went to the kindergarten registration, and one of the principals, Scott Irwin, came up to us and said, what do we do about kids that go hungry over the weekends? You know, they come to school and sometimes they have their lunch on Fridays, but then again, they don't eat anything again until they come back to school on Mondays. And that broke my heart. And when we went back to the office at the food bank and we sat down and we said, we got to do something about this. You know, we can't just feed the people that come into the food bank. We have to outreach to these children as well.
So this started back a few years ago.
Yes. In 2012, I started in one school with 20 students. And now I'm in 13 schools with 350
Wow.
students. But not only am I in Marysville School District, I'm also in Lakewood School District as well.
So what exactly is your part in all this?
I purchase all the foods. I contact all the schools. I work with the school administrators. I have a group of people that come in every Thursday to pack up the bags, and I write the grants that we get the money to buy the food with.
Yeah, so literally like the name director, you're just directing the whole show.
Yes, I am.
So is that kind of how you would say a normal day would look like for you? Just all of those things?
Yes. Plus, I also work at the food bank, so I do that 5 days a week as well.
Are there any other programs you're involved in with that, or just helping out in general at the food bank?
Just helping out.
Yeah, and students can help out as well?
Yes, we love
So
it when the students come in.
how do you guys select students? Is it just any volunteers, or is
Yes.
there okay.
You come in, fill out an application, and we put you to work.
How many people do you usually show up?
Students? On Tuesday afternoons for afternoon distribution, we usually get 15 to 20 students,
Okay.
which we could always use more because Tuesday afternoons is our busiest time.
Why is it Tuesday?
That we have distribution from 3 to 6, and so our lineup of clients, we serve anywhere from 90 to 150, 160 client families
That's a lot.
in that 3-hour period.
Is Tuesday your only distribution period?
No, we have distribution on Mondays from 9 to 11, and that's usually for seniors and disabled. But anybody after 10 o'clock can come in. And then Tuesday afternoons from 3 to 6, and then Friday from 9 to 11, and that's open to everybody.
All right.
So
Tell me
everyone-
about, oh, sorry, go ahead.
So everyone can help out during any of these times, correct?
Yes. We also are open Tuesday mornings. For volunteering, we're open from 8:30 to 11:30, 12 o'clock on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Okay. Let's talk about goals. So obviously every program has goals. What kind of goals do you guys set for yourselves? Like to reach certain numbers, to outreach as maybe like a certain school, amount of schools, a location?
Well, I want to get into the higher levels. but it's a little bit more difficult getting into the element, or the junior high, and then the high school
You gotta
levels.
feed them more.
I would love next year's goal for 2015-2016 school year is to hit 450 kids.
That's always a
And
goal.
that's only 100 more kids than what I'm doing now, but I want those kids to be the higher levels.
Yeah.
I want it to be the homeless, because it's sad to say there are a lot of homeless students in Marysville.
Now, I know you said you help out with Lakewood as well, right?
Right.
And you help out in Marysville. Have any other cities kind of expressed interest in running this sort of program?
Lake Stevens has Little Hands of Hope, and I helped get with the Stanwood Food Bank to help them get started with their program. Arlington now has a program as well. Everett has a couple of programs, but it's not run through their food bank. It's actually run through a school.
Okay. Is there any other programs you're involved in?
Just the food bank, whatever
Have you ever
needs
done
to
anything
be
else
done.
like this before?
No.
What inspired you to get into this?
When my dad passed away 8 years ago, my mom was starting to go downhill. So about a year after, she decided she needed to get out and about. So she started volunteering at the food bank, and she was never home. She was constantly busy. So I had to find out what she was doing. And then that's what started it. I started
You just
going
got
one
tagged
day.
along.
I got 1 day a week, and then I would end up going 3 days a week, and then I was there more often. I actually last year quit my full-time job to do this full-time,
Nice.
to work at the food bank.
Okay, some people say that I've heard that statistically there's not a lot of food to go around the entire world. Like there's just sometimes shortages, and I kind of think to myself, wouldn't it be awesome if we could just summon food? Like you can always farm it, but that takes time and effort. It would be awesome if we could just summon food. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a segment about food summoning. Go ahead and catch that.
It just doesn't seem possible you can do that. Well, I've done it before. Are you sure you weren't dreaming? No, I wasn't 100% sure you weren't dreaming.
100% happened real life.
I'm having a hard time trying to imagine that happening.
Well, it happens, and I don't know.
I mean, just do it again, prove it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Charger Chat. Today we have Amy Howell, and we were previously discussing about how she was inspired to work at the food bank with her mom, and now we're going to be talking more about that.
Yeah, so you've talked about how with the Food for Thought backpack program, you're helping out 350 kids right now. How are those students selected for the program?
When I work with the counselors at the schools, they work with each teacher to find out children that have bad attendance, behavioral issues, medical issues. Those are the children that are selected. It's not just the children that are on the free and reduced program, because sometimes you don't qualify to be on the free reduced because you make too much money, but then again you don't make enough to help support
Yeah.
the family.
So you guys are looking for people that are going to need experience to find entry-level positions at real jobs.
Right.
Okay.
Now, you talked about how you were inspired to join the food bank. Was helping children something that you really thought of when you first started doing this?
No, it was that kindergarten orientation.
That really clicked.
When I found out that there was kids that were going home on the weekends hungry, that broke my heart. And that's, as soon as we got back to the food bank, I started working on how can we solve this. When you look around and the statistics are that 1 out of 4 children deal with hunger, And I mean, look at, there's all of us here, and you
Yeah.
figure, okay, one of us has dealt with hunger at least once or twice.
Yeah, it's real. So what kind of food do you guys usually see go through your program?
I put in, they get 2 breakfasts, 2 lunch, 2 dinners, then they get snacks, juice, and milk. We put in oatmeal, cereal. We try to stick with the whole grains, something that's easy for children to fix but still nutritional.
Okay.
We also work with an organization called Washington State Extension Program, where these nutritionists come into the elementary schools and teach the kids how to prepare the food that's in the bags. So, and that's a great collaboration.
Yeah, that's good to know stuff. And I'm sure they also talk to them about like how much proportion-wise and all
Right.
that, because when you're at a young age like that, really eating is like the most important because you're growing. That's all you're
Yes.
doing is when you're that age, you're just growing.
And you're usually choosing foods that could last for a while, correct?
Yes, yeah. Well,
guys-
except for the snacks. I don't know if some of those snacks make it home on the weekend. By the
Do you
time
guys restock? Do you have to restock a lot, or is it just like
I
once a
do
week?
my shopping once a week.
Okay.
And then I do some major purchasing through Northwest Harvest because they do give us a good deal with
Okay.
buying bulk foods.
Yeah.
Grocery Outlet is a great resource for me as well. They're really supportive of the backpack program.
So the students that volunteer, what do you guys teach them through their experiences there?
We try to teach them to respect people. I mean, these clients that come in, they don't want to be there. And sometimes students will see people that they know and, they wouldn't
Yeah.
think about it. So we try to tell them, this is just a short-term situation for a lot of these people. Don't judge, respect,
Show dignity.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I would probably tell them too. Because it would, yeah, I can understand how that might be a little embarrassing if you saw someone you know. That's actually good for volunteers to get experience like that, because that way, that's part of growing up, is to be able to treat each other respectfully
Yes.
and know what to expect from yourself.
Now, do you have a lot of student volunteers specifically involved with the Food for Thought backpack program?
No, not actually at the food bank. You guys do a wonderful food drive for me in April,
Yeah.
and which this last April you raised or collected almost 800 pounds of food, and it's amazing. You're the only school that does a food drive for the backpack program. Other than that, because we do the packing on Thursday mornings, so and everybody's in school.
Yeah. Why did you guys choose backpack? Why the name backpack?
Because that's nationally, that's what the program has started out to be called, a backpack program. I don't give out backpacks. I use grocery bags because I don't get the backpacks back.
I figured that you guys would put it in their backpacks. That's what
Yeah,
I
they
was.
do. When we deliver to the schools, like at Liberty, I know that they have their student advisory group goes around and puts the kids' food packs in their
Oh,
bags
okay.
for them.
That makes sense.
Now, you talked about the food drive that we run here, and you also talked about shopping. Where does the majority of this food come from for the program?
Northwest Harvest and Grocery Outlet.
So it does mostly come from shopping as opposed to donated food?
The donated food, like from what you guys give, I use that. But you guys, that's only in April. And then some of the food is used for the food bank as well, because it's not, that some of the stuff you collected could not be used totally for the Food for Thought. Other than that, I purchase all the foods that we need. We try not to, this is a separate program from the food bank, so I try to run it with the funds that I get from grants, because I don't want to take away food from the other clients.
Yeah. On a bit lighter note, what are some of the most memorable experiences you've had working with children in this program?
It's great when I go into a school and some of the kids recognize me and they call me the backpack lady. And, you know, just to have them come up and thank me and getting little cards that says, thank you for helping me
Yeah.
eat. This, you know, there was a sad part a few weeks ago. I was working in my yard, and this lady and her daughter were walking down the street, and they just moved into the neighborhood. And she asked if I could, you know, watch her daughter while she went to the doctor's appointment. Well, I ended up walking home with I don't want to say her name, walking home with her.
Yeah.
And I noticed it was quiet. Well, I walked into the kitchen and she was drinking juice out of a pickle jar out of the refrigerator. And I asked her, I go, you like pickle juice? And come to find out, well, that was basically the only thing they had in their fridge.
Wow.
And, you know, I took care of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I ended up taking her to the food bank and it wasn't a normal distribution day, but so we have Northwest Harvest boxes, which is a supplement to get them by for a couple of days.
Okay.
But that's, you know, that's the things we run into.
Yeah, that sounds like it can be heavy on the heart.
Yeah.
Now, back to the program. How long does the program normally help out these students?
Well, I help the students for a whole year, the whole 37 weeks of school. Now, whether they continue to need it when they go into the next, you know, the next year's. I have several kids in one family.
Okay. All right. So we actually have another segment.
Okay.
And this one, let me ask you, have you ever fought for someone you loved?
Yes.
think
Doesn't
we all have.
everybody?
Well, here's a segment about Dream Girl. Hey there, listen, my phone's locked and it says it needs your number to unlock it.
Well, I wouldn't want your phone to stay logged.
Oh, perfect, thanks. So anyways, I was thinking we could go and get some,
Hey, what are you doing with my girlfriend?
do you mean, that girl that just gave me her number?
Wait, she did what?
Well, one of you is gonna have to win my heart. This gives me an idea. So this is how it's gonna go down. The winner of this competition gets to be my boyfriend for an entire week.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I gotta get back in that dream. Oh my gosh, this isn't working. Can I read? Emily Dickinson. Why not? Sounds boring. Lightning lets away. Power to perceive his process with vitality. Yes!
Wow. Okay then.
Well, I guess a win's a win.
Yes, it is. Oh, dang it! Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing it right back with Amy Howell. Now, Amy, tell us, is there any other ways that people can help out this program?
Yes, we can take cash donations. I also have a PayPal account, or you can just, you know, swing by the food bank
Yeah.
and make a donation there.
And obviously, like, we want to, like, get word of mouth out to people. Like, maybe some people don't know about this program. You know, let them know that hey, if you need help or anything, or if you know someone else that needs help, let them know about this program.
That's correct.
That always helps.
And are there any other ways we can help kids with food insecurity that have to deal with that?
If you recognize somebody that needs help, tell somebody, or just point them in the direction. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that the food bank is there to help you. And it's, people deal with hunger every day. It shouldn't be a taboo word, but people think, how does this happen in our country? It shouldn't happen in our country. And we need to fix it. Yeah. And that's what we need to do. It's just take that extra step.
Yeah, it's an amazingly important issue that doesn't get brought up as much as it should be, because we're usually
the
busy.
country of the land of the free and opportunity.
Yeah. Oh no. Because in our country, we're usually focused more on talking about political issues or stuff that directly impacts us. If we're not worried about hunger, then we're probably not talking about it. But the reality is it's a big problem, and we should raise awareness a bit more about it. But let's go a little bit more lighthearted for the rest of the show. Tell me, what did you want to do growing up?
Growing up, well, that was interesting. Well, I was in the medical field for 15 years. Excuse me. And then
what did you do in the medical field?
I was a medical assistant.
Okay. So what kind of stuff did you see?
I worked with people that had back injuries, head injuries, disabilities.
Like concussion and impact stuff?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
sports maybe?
Yeah, we saw some kids that had sports injuries.
What was it like working with them?
It's great. Trying to just helping people. It seems like that's been my calling.
Yeah, it seems like a motto you've
And
pretty much had.
I didn't realize it at the time until you just mentioned that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I
you.
helped you helped you realize something bigger.
It took
in
me
this life.
50 years to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, but now I love it.
It's like a high school senior day.
That's right. See, you guys are good.
We try our best.
Now, you've talked about how you got into the food bank, but how did you specifically become director of the Food for Thought program? Was it just after that kindergarten program event where you just decided to take charge of this?
Yes, I did. The director of the food banks, and I had to do a lot of research. I had to look at other groups, what they did, and
How to make it work, how to
Right.
make sure you're successful about it.
excuse me. And I had to present it to our board of directors. And once they gave the go-ahead, I started writing grants. I had to prove that I could raise the money for it before I could actually start it. And so I wrote my first grant, received the money, and it was
Just took off.
gung-ho. Yes.
So does this program currently serve every elementary school here in Marysville?
I believe there's only one elementary school that I'm not going to at this moment.
Are there any other schools that you currently plan to serve in the future?
I want to hit like the Marysville Middle School and then reach out to the high schools.
If you somehow didn't come upon this program, what would you envision yourself doing right now?
Working a full-time job,
Still in the medical?
probably.
What is there any certain aspect of the medical field that you have a certain interest in?
I really enjoy working with the elderly as well.
Elderly. What is that?
They just, they're so caring. You know,
Yeah,
I
they're
like to,
typically nice people.
and they want to give back as well. And it's hard when you start getting older and you start seeing yourself things you're not able to do anymore. And just to give the people the encouragement that they can still do things.
They're still relevant.
Yes, they're still
Relevant.
important.
Yeah. that would feel good. That would be the same as if people our age, didn't have much to do in our spare time. Like I can see how that might be stressful for old people. And like I personally, I like talking to old people just because it's amazing because you might not think they're interesting, but the matter of fact is that they've been living on this earth for a long time, which means they've had a lot of experience and whatever it is. So if you talk to them, guaranteed they're going to have a lot of interesting information about everything because they've lived a long time. So yeah, I can imagine how working with old people would be actually fun.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot from them.
The things they've seen that you couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
I hate to say that about myself too.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot you could tell us.
Now, I know the elderly have to deal with a lot of really stressful things, and food insecurity also is really stressful. Do you think through this program, kids, it really helps kids because they don't have to kind of think about their hunger and they can focus more on other aspects of their lives?
That's true. We've already seen some results where the kids that have been getting the food for the weekends, their attendance, they're showing up to school on Mondays, and you would think they would show up on Mondays to get the meals, but when you're hungry on the weekends, you don't sleep right.
Yeah.
And
it affects a lot of other
things.
Your mood, how hard you work.
Attendance, grades have improved. It's really been interesting getting the statistics back from the counselors on the kids that received the program.
Now, something that my mom always told me is she said, growing up, she tries to teach me how to buy food. She tries to teach me how to coupon, look for deals, have a set plan of the necessities first. Do you guys teach that at all, or plan on teaching that to the younger generation?
That's what the Washington State Extension Program is doing, and they're hoping to get into each elementary school to run the week-long class of teaching these kids about food nutrition, cooking, safety in cooking. We don't want a kindergartner trying to cook the macaroni and cheese on the stove. This is how you do it in the microwave. And
yeah. Right. And is there anything else that you'd like to tell Marysville?
just that, we service about 10% of the Marysville population at the food bank. We know that there is more out there. If they can't get to us, we do have a home delivery for our seniors. Call and ask if they have any questions. Hunger shouldn't be an issue. Marysville is great giving community. It's amazing how much the Letters Carrier Food Drive, we're up 7% than we were a couple years ago, which is awesome because we've been seeing that go down. Our goal, our vision for the food bank is a hunger-free community, and we want to see that happen.
I think it will happen. I think you guys are doing a great job. You're reaching already a lot of kids, and I think there's just only room for growth. Amy, I want to thank you for being on our show today. It's been a pleasure. I think we had a good one. Yeah, definitely a good one. So, Marysville, thanks for watching. I've been your host, Vitali, here with
Anthony.
See you next time.
See you next time, Marysville.